All right, we're going to continue more on this build of my amp cabinet. So what we're going to do today is we're going to put some Kreg jig holes into this side on going upwards and going downwards so that we could connect the bottom and the top and start to make our actual cabinet. Let's see. And then once we put the cabinet in, once we get these holes created, then we're going to route the edges of the cabinet before we put it all together. I think that's how it's going to go. Yeah. All right. So right here, I've got my Kreg jig. It's got a really nice setup. So I like it because I've got it mounted on a piece of board. So I just take it out from wherever. You could have it stashed and away. And I just have to secure it. Secure it to my table. And then we could just put our boards in and clamps right in, and then we just make our holes. Okay. And we also have our drill set. They're all preset from before. I do a lot of work with this size of plywood, so I just keep it set. Okay, so 3 should be enough to hold it. Now, when we're putting this together, I want to make a note that I'll just use this for an example here. If you're trying to put a hole in here to put your screws and they go in at an angle, well, you want to do it from the outside here so it has more to bite on as the screw goes down through this direction like that. If you do it from the inside, even though you won't be able to see it from the outside, then when you put your screw in from this side, it has nothing to grab onto. So you have to do it from the outside in, where you can have these holes, but then you can fill the holes eventually. So, but these this new Kreg style jig here really makes a solid connection. I like them. Okay, so I'm going to put 3 on each. Yep. Why did that not seem like it went all the way down? you got to tighten these things up first. There we go. Here, I'll give you a look from this side. So you have 3 holes. You could just choose whichever one. They're for basic alignment. Just like that. All right, let's stand this back up here. Okay, what else do we have to do? It's going to be the bottom. There's 2 sides. I'll go in there and on the top. We need this is the bottom, or that's the top. Okay, so this is the back. This is going to need some. It's going to go in like this. This one needs some down there on the sides. Now, since our front is going to be recessed in just a little bit so that we can have the speaker and then also put a grill in the front of it, then I'm going to do these craft holes from the back. Sometimes it looks like I might stop and think. It's a fluid situation, so you got to keep on thinking and constantly, checking, double checking what you're trying to make. I just noticed that I put one hole in the very center, and it was going to be see, I put one hole in the center here, and then if I was going to put the next one, it was really close and makes this kind of close to this edge here. And there's also going to be screws going through here from the speaker. So I thought that, maybe I should put them a little bit to the sides like this, it's to get a little bit more stability. So that's what I was thinking about. So I don't know if there's a better way, more solid way. Please let me know. Just something I was thinking about as I was drilling. guess that'll do. See, I don't want it vibrating against making vibrations at the joints here. So I think what I'll probably do also is I'll have to use glue putting it together, as well as just the craft screws. But yep. Okay, that's the front. Okay, I guess that's all the drilling we need to do. Just going to clean up those edges and get all this stuff cleaned up, and then it'll be time to use some of my favorite toys there. Okay, and if you didn't see this, I guess you were wondering where I was grabbing all these from. This is my specially made holders, clamp holders. So when you have just a little tiny shop, you got to be real creative. So that's what we do. All right. Let me get this all cleaned up, and we'll be right back in a second. Oh, hello there. So right now we're just going to clean up these edges. Plywood always seems to have just break apart and make these edges that are give you nice splinters if you really want them. I don't. So I'm not saying that everybody does, but I just don't like it. use like spackle or anything like that. This might be a little bit too soft, but there's like some kind of plastic putty that you could use. It dries really like almost like, you know, the same density as the wood, and it's paintable. Now if this was like a piece of fine furniture, I wouldn't be putting these kind of holes in it. I wouldn't be using this kind of wood. I'd use a little bit better grade of wood. Something that you don't need to use Kreg holes in it. You would just use some sort of joinery. So, okay, we've got the router table ready and set up. So I've got I guess they call that a quarter round router bit in there. So some people have a, you know, nice shop, stuff like that. I don't have much room, but I'm gonna make do. So what I actually can do is I have a electric cord that I could, you know, it'll stretch, you know, go all over the shop. So one of the handiest things that I've done, and that's actually connected over to a switch that'll control my dust collector. And then for the dust collector, I just have a tube that I just run around the, you know, to the different pieces, and it works out. So, all right, let's go and route some wood. Okay, to put these together, I'm going to use 1¼ inch specialized Kreg screws, pocket hole screws. Where do we start? Let's see. Oh. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. What I found is that when you start screwing these screws into these holes, it tends to pull it that direction just a little bit. So this really helps a lot. So I might even start out with it just sticking over just a hair. Not much, but just enough. now we're going to, let's see where we're going to mount these. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to bore you with the details. We're just going to drill some holes, put some screws in for these all the way around. That'll be done. We'll put the handles on, start putting on some of the corner hardware and the feet, and we'll see what we got. Okay. All right, just like with lots of other builds, the screws that I thought I would get right here are a little bit too, let me set this up here. They're a little bit, the heads are a little too large. So it's got a pretty decent sized head on there, but if I put them down through here, they do not fit very well because of the curvature of the speaker. So, what to do? Might have to put some different screws with just a little smaller head on there. And the edge, or this, what do you call that? Gasket? I don't know if it's really a gasket. There's no sealing surface, but this paper here that lines the cone is off a little bit. So also that stops the heads from going down in there. This one is not that bad, but this one here is off to the side. So I'm going to have to put something that just barely clears everything here. Much smaller screw, but something that also doesn't go all the way down through, which is going to be a little tricky on this one because this paper is shifted all the way to the edge. Okay. Well, gonna have to figure something out. So, what I think I'm going to do is, before I go through all the rest of this, we'll put all the hardware back where it goes. And what I'll do is I'm going to stain this so it looks purty, and maybe I'll put on a coat of urethane or shellac or something. I don't know. Oops. Good thing I did that. But let's get some of the aesthetics done. Maybe I'll just stain it. That should be good enough. Get moving on something, and all of a sudden just need one little thing to mess it all up. So, all right. So on to putting all this back in, or back in the boxes for now.